The fifth fact is the empty tomb.
The empty tomb is conceded by about 75% of these critical historians, including skeptics.
Which is a lot.
That's a vast majority. The other points are universal, virtually, but the 75% is really big.
Any president that got 75% of the vote, we'd be electing him pope here. I mean,
absolutely, absolutely. So we have 3 points quickly on this to establish the empty tomb. First of all, we have the Jerusalem factor. The fact that the disciples were able, in the very city where Jesus was put to death, just a short time later, proclaim that he had returned from the dead to audiences who knew better if it wasn't true. They knew if they were lying. They knew if they were making it up. And yet, we see historically the church is birthed right in that very place because people knew that they were telling the truth when they talked about the resurrected Jesus. Second, enemy attestation. What that means is even the enemies of Jesus admitted that the tomb was empty. The argument was that the disciples had somehow stolen the body. That was the rumor they floated. Well, think about it. That doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. You know, the guards are supposedly asleep. Well, how did they know the disciples stole the body if they were sleeping? And then they don't have the motive or the means or the opportunity. It's ridiculous. Nobody believed it then. Nobody believes it now. But you think about it. If I came to you, and I was a little kid and you're a teacher, and I say, I don't have, if I came to you and say my dog ate my homework, I would be conceding I don't have my homework. Why would I make up that story if I had my homework? Well, same thing. Why would you make up a story about the disciples stealing the body if the body's in the tomb? They're conceding the body's gone. And then third, we have the testimony of women. The Gospels report to us that it was women who discovered the tomb empty. And why that's important, again, is the criterion of embarrassment. In first century Jewish and Roman culture, the testimony of women was not taken seriously. They didn't have credibility. As a general rule, they were not even allowed to testify in a court of law. So this is an embarrassment that it was not John who discovered the tomb empty or Peter. It was some women. If you're going to make up the story about the empty tomb, if you're going to manufacture it, you would never say women discovered the tomb empty. It was embarrassing, hurt their own case in front of their audience. You would have said John discovered it empty. Instead, we see the report that women discovered it empty. Why? That's what happened, and they were committed to telling the truth.
All right, so we have compelling testimony about the resurrection from the friends of Jesus,
right.
An enemy of Christianity, a skeptic, namely James. We have strong historical evidence that the tomb, Jesus' tomb, was empty. Even the enemies agreed to that. We've got to answer, where did the body go?
Yeah.
And we've got the disciples saying that they saw the risen Jesus.
Right. You put that together, John, and even though this is a minimal facts case, I believe there's other strong historical evidence we could marshal. But, strip that away. Go back to what virtually every scholar in the world who studies this stuff, an atheist or Christian, doesn't matter. And I'm telling you, even this minimal case, I believe, is persuasive enough to convince me that Jesus really did return from the grave. And why is that important? Because it authenticates, it backs up his claim that he is the one and the only Son of God.